Well, happy Easter, everyone. This is the day, this is the event that as Christians, we celebrate as Resurrection Day. It serves as the backbone and the foundation of our faith. And I hope that you were able to attend one of our Easter services at the Pursuit, whether that was on Saturday or Sunday. Maybe you even took part in a Good Friday experience. But more than that, I hope that you were able to spend a moment to appreciate and celebrate the work that Jesus did on the cross and through the empty tomb out of his love that he has for you. This Easter weekend, Pastor Tom finished out our message series in which we took a walk through the experiences that Jesus went through during Holy Week and the days after. And the story that was captured in Luke chapter 24 recalls when after the resurrection of Jesus, two individuals spent time with Jesus but didn't recognize it was the resurrected Jesus who was with them until after they invited him in to stay with them. In sharing this story, Pastor Tom explained how Jesus doesn't always appear the way we expect him to. And then Pastor Tom shared three common reasons that may keep people from recognizing Jesus. First was having a hard heart. See, sometimes people may have a natural bias towards not believing, and this can be for a whole variety of reasons. But that bias towards not believing results often in a person's inability to recognize the work of Jesus in their life. Next, Pastor Tom gave us the reason of a hurting heart. And let's face it, we all go through difficult times. Sometimes people go through traumatic events in their lives, and as a result, they come out the other end questioning the existence of God. And rather than seeking God in their time of pain, they actually may run away from God. And third was a crowded heart. See, people may actually, in fact, be believer of Jesus. However, they don't slow down as Psalm 46 tells us that we should. And as a result, they stay so busy they aren't even able to pay attention when Jesus works in their life. And after presenting this, Pastor Tom asked everyone the question, what has kept you from recognizing Jesus? And I want to offer you three different barriers that perhaps you have found yourself using at some point in your life, or maybe you're even using them right now as there could be a barrier between you and Jesus. And these are three common things that can often separate us from God. So as I go through these, I invite you to evaluate whether any of these are an issue in your life. First is pride. Pride has the ability to keep us from praying because we think, well, I can handle it, or we just don't ask God for help. Pride is the reason that keeps people from getting on their knees in front of the holy, righteous, sovereign God and giving him thanks for every breath he has gifted us, and as well as everything else. And because pride makes us think that we have earned all that we have. Pride keeps us from honoring God and exploring that part of a relationship that we could otherwise have with him, thus keeping a barrier between us and God. The next thing that can keep us separated from God is rebellion in the form of sin. Rebellion towards God happens when, despite us possibly even knowing the way that we are to live, we choose not to do that. Instead, living the way we decide we're going to live, often because of a fleshly desire that we're unwilling to deny. And as long as there is sin in a person's life, there's no intimacy with God. There's no intimacy possible where there is rebellion. Just think about your own relationships. Can you have a real intimate relationship with a husband or a wife that you've just rebelled against? No, you can't. And can you have an intimate, trusting relationship with your children if they're in rebellion towards you in their life? No. So how can we have an intimate relationship with God if we are living in rebellion against him? Living in rebellion against God in our sin will always keep us separated from him. And finally is selfishness. This often plays itself out in living with only your own priorities. Our common lifestyles mean that we end up being in a hurry, getting in as many of our desired interests as possible. We leave little to no room to develop an intimate relationship with God. But if we were to have a real relationship with him, it takes time. It takes time to read his word, to meditate upon it, to think about it, to ask questions of God, to inquire, what are you trying to say to me, God? But if you're in love with another person, let's say, it's likely that you like spending time with them. You like listening to them. And the more that you see of them, the more that you spend time with them, the more that you actually love them. But often as an approach we take with God, it's one more of a selfish attitude, not investing that time with him. We take care of our own interests, our needs, desires first, and if we have anything left over, then maybe we'll give the rest to God. However, that approach results in a larger and larger gap that forms until there is nothing but separation between us and God. And if you are recognizing any of these barriers existing between you and God, I want to give you a bit of encouragement, and we can find that in the Bible. In Jeremiah 29, verse 13, that says this: "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." If you are seriously seeking a relationship with Jesus with all your heart, you are promised that you will find him. And so my prayer for you is that you don't be satisfied with less in your relationship with him than intimacy, which is the will and the purpose and the plan of God for you. And how grateful we can be when we think about how perfect and holy and how awesome God is for having a personal, intimate relationship with sinners like us because of the blood of his Son that has washed us clean and sanctified us. And I pray for every person who hears this message and to create within them this awesome, holy dissatisfaction with where they are and how to have a hunger to know God in a deeper way than ever before. So I ask, would you please take some time to share your reactions and feelings from this video as well as the message from the weekend. And you can find a discussion guide that's linked in the video description below to help you with that. And then take some time praying for one another, especially over any barriers that are keeping any of you in a real intimate relationship with Jesus. We'll see you next week.